She promised me he was just a friend. The sound was small, a vibration on the nightstand. Her phone lit the room in faint blue. Her body shifted beside me, too quickly, too rehearsed. "Go back to sleep," she whispered. I didn't move. The glow faded, but the echo of her smile lingered in the dark. That was the first fracture. Not the message, not even the lie, just the smile. It wasn't mine anymore. The next morning, she laughed at her phone again over coffee. A quiet laugh, private, like a secret she'd fallen in love with. When I asked who it was, she said, "Just a friend. You're overthinking everything." The words slid through me like a blade dulled by repetition. I nodded, pretended to believe. Because disbelief changes nothing. It only alerts the guilty. I had learned that lesson long ago. You don't confront, you collect. Nights became quieter, her touch less certain, her eyes elsewhere. I began studying her silence the way I used to study human behavior during interrogations. Patterns, inconsistencies, involuntary tells. Love, when it fades, leaves fingerprints. The lock screen became the first clue, a name hidden under an emoji. Then the late showers, the constant need to breathe. She said she felt suffocated, but I was the one gasping. Still, I played the role, the calm husband, the trusting fool. Every good night from her lips sounded like an apology rehearsed too long. One night, she fell asleep with the phone under her pillow. I wasn't looking for it. I tell myself that sometimes. But the universe likes to tempt broken men with confirmation. A message lit the room again. 3 words, simple, intimate. "I miss you." It wasn't from me. I scrolled down slowly, as if reading someone else's tragedy. Their conversations were tender, playful, unashamed. My name appeared once. He still doesn't know. That's when the world tilted. Not from rage, from realization. I hadn't lost her tonight. I'd lost her months ago, maybe years. And she'd just been waiting for me to notice. I didn't confront her, not yet. Anger makes you sloppy. I needed precision. The next few weeks, I gathered truth like evidence for a trial that would never reach court. Backup messages, shared locations, patterns of absence disguised as errands. Everything lined up perfectly, almost artfully, like betrayal had choreography. And I was watching a dance she'd been perfecting in silence. The name from her messages matched a contact on her banking app. Small transfers labeled gift, trip, deposit. A man she once introduced casually as an old friend. The same man she swore I was paranoid about. I visited him. He didn't know who I was at first. People rarely recognize the ghost in someone else's story. We shook hands in his office. I smiled. He smiled back. I could smell her perfume faintly on his coat. "Tell her," I said quietly. He frowned. "Tell her you saw me." Then I walked out. That night she came home late, hair slightly disheveled, excuses already loaded behind her eyes. I didn't ask, just handed her a folder. Inside, printouts, screenshots, receipts. A map of her betrayal. She stared at it, silent, then looked up at me, trembling. "Where did you—" "I always knew," I said. Her lips parted, searching for words that wouldn't come. Tears gathered, not from regret, but from exposure. The guilty never cry for what they did. They cry for being seen. I didn't yell, didn't demand explanations. There's no meaning in postmortems when the heart has already stopped beating. She reached out, perhaps to touch me, perhaps to plead. I stepped back. Distance is the only language left between strangers. "I didn't mean to." She stopped. Even she didn't believe it. "I know," I said, and that was worse than anger. The next morning, I was gone before she woke. Left the house keys on the counter, ring still attached. She texted, called, begged for conversation. I answered none. Silence became my revenge. Not absence. Absence can be forgotten. but silence. Silence makes them listen to their own guilt until it echoes. Weeks passed. She tried to reach me through mutual friends. Said she wanted to explain, to fix things. But you can't fix something that was built on deceit. You can only expose it, then leave it to rot. I watched her once from across a cafe. She looked smaller. Eyes sunken, laughter forced. She was with him, but she wasn't smiling at her phone anymore. She wasn't smiling at all. I realized then, betrayers never win. They trade stability for excitement, truth for illusion. But illusion always collapses, and when it does, there's no one left to believe them. One final message arrived months later. "I'm sorry. I miss what we had." I read it twice, then deleted it. No reply. That was my closure. Not forgiveness, just finality. People think revenge is destruction. It isn't. Revenge is revelation. Letting the truth stand bare in the cold and watching those who built their comfort on lies freeze beneath it. I didn't destroy her. I simply removed myself. And without me, her story unraveled. Sometimes I still think of the way she smiled at her phone, the way her reflection glowed in that blue light, distant and unreachable. That smile wasn't for me. It never had been. But now, when she looks at her phone, she sees only her own reflection. The messages are gone. The man, too. She's left with silence, and silence remembers everything. I walk lighter now, not happier, just hollow in a cleaner way. Emptiness can be peace when it's earned. I pass strangers who hold hands, laugh, promise forever. I don't envy them. Forever is fragile. Truth is not. I loved her once, truly. But love isn't trust. Love is blindness. And I've learned to see. She thought she'd replaced me. But you can't replace someone who's already disappeared. You can only live haunted by the space they left behind.